she's pushing 30.
He was banned from prom. He was the age of the teachers.
She still wears braces.
I consider Josh a pedophile.
Their love story.
On your first date, he took you to a playground.
Is barely legal.
I had Joshua take me to get birth control because I heard that it prevents cancer.
So you're taking it for cancer prevention. Check my forehead. Did somebody write stupid on there? Take a look at this happy couple. It appears to be a teen romance in full bloom. They went to prom together and are head over heels in love. But what if I told you this couple started hanging out when she was 16 and he was nearly 30? And now they're engaged. Her mother has made every attempt to stop this barely legal romance. I'm talking court petitions, missing person reports, an order of protection, and a 2-week placement in a facility. But nothing has worked. And when Mom took out a restraining order against this older man, well, he upped his game. He went to court, fought for, and won legal visitation of his barely legal fiancée. Now, Cheyenne's mother, Jean, says their age difference isn't the only thing that's driving her crazy. In fact, she says that her daughter was the all-American girl, a cheerleader, a track star, a straight-A honor student. On the other hand, Josh, well, he's divorced, has been arrested for violent offenses, convicted of assault on a female, has just recently been taken off probation, and has had supervised visitation with his child, who, by the way, is nearly a third the age of his fiancée. So when did this love affair begin? Well, Cheyenne says she first met Josh when she was only 7 years old.
When Joshua and I met, I was 7 years old. He would come over and play with my older brother, and I was the annoying little sister. We reconnected when I was 16, and we started hanging out, and we just clicked. We officially started dating when I turned 17. He started singing to me while we were on the playground. When I was taking classes, Josh would come visit me, so we kept it a secret. It was fun because we could actually be ourselves and not worry about what other people were saying. Joshua got me a necklace, rings, and about 10 stuffed animals. I treasured all the gifts, and no one can touch them, so then it still smells like him. Joshua gave me a promise ring. Instead of a graduation party, we're thinking about doing a wedding. And we are eventually going to have one kid. We are in love, and nothing will ever keep us apart.
I love you.
Well, not if Cheyenne's mother has anything to do with it. She has the police on speed dial.
When I go anywhere with Josh, the cops are called by my mother. She will file a missing persons report. My mother has been trying to put me in a detention home, and she threatens him she will leave a voicemail.
I don't do it anymore. Because you're mine now. End of message.
She tells me that he's flirting, stalking us, texting other girls, is cheating on me. I feel like I'm Cinderella trying to be with Prince Charming, and my mother is trying to prevent it. I hate my mother.
Yeah, well, your mother doesn't care if you hate her. She says doesn't matter. She thinks that Josh is a pedophile who is preying on her baby girl.
I don't want Josh to be with my daughter. I consider Josh a pedophile. Whenever I introduce Josh, I will say, this is my daughter Cheyenne, and this is her 28-year-old pedophile boyfriend. Josh was arrested for assault and battery, for trying to drown his wife, I'm very disgusted and furious with their relationship. I contacted Child Protective Services, the local police department, counselors, mediators.
She's called the cops a lot. It upsets me.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Because then everyone gets in your business.
I have called his probation officer over 100 times. I have also tried to have Cheyenne arrested to keep her away from Josh. Nothing has seemed to help. Josh taunts me. He tells me that no matter what I say, he's going to see Cheyenne. The harder I fight, the more that Cheyenne and Josh fight to be together.
Okay, this is a nightmare for you, right?
Yes.
What is it that has you so upset about this that you've got the police on speed dial, that this has fractured your relationship with your daughter?
He's dangerous. I feel that he's going to one day hurt Cheyenne.
What do you think? Does it seem odd to you that a 28-year-old man is dating a high school student?
At first it was a little weird. We were just friends, and then we liked each other. There are so many people that have age differences, so we started looking around, seeing like what the legal age was and how many people in our state had like age differences, and we found out so many. So at first it was weird, yes, but then we just got used to it.
What was weird about it to you?
I guess just the fact that I was in high school, so we couldn't go to prom together. But
you sort of went to prom together, right?
Yes,
This is a picture of you guys. Is that Dino?
Yes.
Okay, that's the two of you sitting on a dinosaur. Is that outside of prom?
Well, it was outside of a restaurant that we went to.
He was banned from prom.
He couldn't go in, but he could go to
And why
pictures.
couldn't he go in?
Because he's older and the age difference, and it wasn't my prom, it was my friend's prom.
Okay, he was the age of the teachers.
Yeah.
Right, so he could chaperone but not date.
Yeah.
I understand on your first date, he took you to a playground and sang to you.
Yes.
I didn't know that one.
We went with
That's kind of ironic, isn't it? He's dating a child and he takes you to a playground to sing to you.
Well, we actually went with my older brother, my older sister, and my little brother.
What was he singing to you? Was it like Mary Had a Little Lamb or what?
No, he actually sang the song I Want Crazy because he was talking to my sister about how good of a singer he was, so we just started singing.
Okay. But let me just ask you, just in your sensibilities, does it seem odd, or your word, weird, that a 28-year-old man that's been married and has a child is dating a high school student?
We love each other, and nothing's going to change that.
Well, okay. Now, you filed 7 missing persons reports on her?
7 or more, yes.
And she wasn't really missing.
Well,
You knew exactly where she was. You knew she was with him on a date.
she was with him every time, yes. But I did not know specifically where they were.
I'm wondering if you're trying to get the police to parent your child.
No. In my house, you tell me where you're going. That is one of our rules.
And he's been on probation during a lot of this time.
Yes.
You've called his probation officer how many times?
Too many to count.
Like over 100?
Probably over thousands.
You've just called
Yes.
and called and called.
I
Okay.
could call 5-6 times a day.
Wow. We're going to hear from Josh. He's here. He insists there is nothing wrong with falling in love with a 17-year-old girl, especially one that he says is so beautiful and smart. Plus, something I noticed that I need to ask Cheyenne about. All of that when we come back.
Cheyenne's mom can never keep us apart. Our love is meant to be. Jean is a psycho bitch.
I had Joshua take me to get birth control because I heard that it prevents cancer.
There is no doubt in my mind they are sexually active.
Cheyenne and I are not having sex.
It's a love story that is actually illegal in 11 states, including the one we're in right now. But 17-year-old Cheyenne's nearly 30-year-old boyfriend Josh has clearly studied up on the consent laws in his state because he says his relationship with his young fiancée is not only legal, but it's the best time of his life. Did I hear you say you went and got birth control for cancer control?
Well, okay. So my doctor kept asking, because I'm heading off to college, if I wanted to go on birth control. And then she kept giving me paperwork and paperwork and paperwork. And I saw how it does prevent cancers. So, and cancer does run high in our family. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I'm going off to college and I'm not going to be home anymore.
So you're taking it for cancer prevention?
I'm just taking it because...
You're an honor student, right?
Yes.
Okay, check my forehead. Did somebody write stupid on there?
Like, I don't know. I guess I got tired of my doctor keep asking me and asking me and asking me. So I just...
But by the way, we contacted a well-respected OBGYN who said although birth control may actually decrease the risk of ovarian cancer, I quote, birth control is prescribed for two main reasons, contraception and cycle management, not for preventing cancer. Now, before we meet Josh, I want to hear what he thinks about Cheyenne. He says it's his soulmate.
Cheyenne and I are very in love. We have a lot in common. We like hunting, fishing, going to the mall. We have the same favorite color. We just love tacos. Cheyenne is very beautiful, very smart, talented. She's an honor student, and I'm very proud of her. I would buy Cheyenne the world because she means so much to me. She's a great girl. In the state of New York, it's legal for us to date. I hate Jean. She is a psycho bitch. Jean makes up lies to try to break us up. Jean calls me a child molester. She calls me Cheyenne's boy toy. Cheyenne's mom even tried driving us off the road. One time, I had to call the police on Jean because she blocked me in a parking lot and was being held hostage. Jean is jealous of what we have. Cheyenne's mom can never keep us apart. Our love is meant to be. I will fight until the end.
Okay, well, you know, we've been talking about Josh, and he's been listening to everything we've been talking about. So let's bring him out and hear what he has to say. Josh, come on out. Josh, how you doing? Dr. Phil.
How you doing, Dr. Phil?
So do you recognize from a purely objective, logical standpoint that it's odd for someone approaching 30 to be dating an adolescent?
No, not really.
That doesn't...
No.
Not even logically, that doesn't...
In some parts, yes.
Do you have a child?
I do.
Boy,
I have
girl?
a 5-year-old boy.
5-year-old boy?
Yes.
As a parent, do you have expectations of what you hope your child does? Do you hope that child grows up and has friends that are peers?
Yes.
And finds a mate that's a peer?
Yes.
And do you worry at all that she is missing things in her life because you've already fast-forwarded through 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You've experienced all of those years doing the things that are typical for that age, and she is going to jump from 16, 17 to 27, 28 in being in a relationship with you.
Yeah.
How about dating in college? Is she going to date in college?
Probably not.
No.
If she wants to be with me, that's her decision.
You waited until the day she turned 17 to go public with this, right?
Not fully. Before we actually got together, we don't really know the actual day we got together, so we made it for November 3rd, right after her birthday. Mm-hmm. But we hung out. We were friends for the longest time.
Why is it that you say you're in love with her? I mean, you said you both have the favorite color blue.
We have a lot in common. Like, we have a lot in common through everything.
Your favorite color's blue.
Yeah.
Obviously.
She likes to go fishing. I like to go fishing.
You
do
both
things
love,
around.
You both love tacos.
Yes, of course.
It's just, I don't know, everything.
So, look, I understand you not getting the gravity of what I'm saying and the absurdity of what you're saying. But I would expect, come on.
Oh, yeah.
And if you really care about her in a mature way, then you would be doing everything you could to enhance life, right?
Exactly.
And do you think there is any more important relationship than between a parent and a child? Do you think it's important for children to have a good relationship with their parents?
Yes, I do.
And in this situation, are you disrespecting her mother?
I'm not trying to, no.
You referred to her psycho bitch.
Because she's crazy.
Okay, but even if that's true, and I'm not saying that that's true.
I'll admit it, I am.
My point is, does that seem like mature behavior on your part?
No, it doesn't.
And behavior that supports her in having a relationship with her mother?
No.
How do you feel about her sister?
Her sister?
Mm-hmm. Do you refer to her sister as a slut skank?
No, I do not.
Oh, no.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
I've never said that about your daughter.
You have to.
I mean, be honest. Has he or not?
There might have been one time after I've gotten called a whore, a skank, a slut, a bitch.
Is this okay, acceptable in your home for this kind of name calling to be thrown back and forth?
No, we try not to, but
you do.
It has gotten worse.
All right, we have to take a break. Jean says once word got out that Josh was officially dating her young daughter, his exes started coming out of the woodwork with stories that left Mom more worried than ever. And next, one of Josh's ex shares the story of their short-lived affair. We'll be right back.
Josh's ex-girlfriends have told me that he was abusive and controlling and would not be a good influence for my daughter. Another one told me she had a young child and that he was being looked into for touching her.
My exes are liars. I am very honest and I have nothing to hide.
Secret after-school rendezvous, promise rings, and kissing selfies plastered on Instagram. Today, it's all about a teen romance. Doesn't sound all that strange until you find out that half of the couple is nearly 30. My Twitter followers are close to crashing my page with tweets about Josh and Cheyenne right now. If you want to join the conversation, you can send me a tweet with the hashtag age gap. I'm curious if you think it's okay for a 28-year-old to date a 17-year-old girl. Answer hashtag yes, Dr. Phil, or hashtag no, Dr. Phil. I'll have the results later in the show. Now, this isn't your first relationship because we know you have a child. And you have visitation, but
Yes,
it's
I do.
supervised?
It's not supervised, no.
It is super.
We're technically not supervised, but we're in the county building, yes.
Okay, so you have to see your child in a county building.
We both do, yes.
So you can't take the child and go off to the park or go off?
Not right now until...
Okay, why is that?
They told me the reason why, I mean, I could have my kid, but because of, I had a psych eval done, I'm not, how can I say that? Smart enough or whatever to have a kid, supposedly, but I've actually went to another therapist and they said that I could actually have my kid perfectly fine.
So they said you weren't smart enough to have,
I guess so,
to
yeah.
have
that's
custody
what-
of a child?
Or supposedly, like something like that.
Basically because he brought his son over to our house and he was getting along with my little brother and everything, and the mother of the child found out, freaked out, and went to CPS saying that he was taking him places that he shouldn't have.
So they found out what your parenting practices included and said, this is not okay. You can see this child in a government building under supervision.
Yes.
Okay. Are you concerned about his relationship history?
I've been with him for 9 months. I've gone places alone with him. I don't have a bruise or a mark on me.
Well, let's talk about the pattern of past behavior, and you can clarify this, true, false, in between, somewhere. You got married when you were 21 and your ex was 17.
No, my ex, we got married when my ex turned 18.
She was 17 when you started dating, that's correct?
Yes.
Okay. Then she got pregnant a couple months after her 18th birthday. Were you accused of attempting to drown her?
She went to the police because she met a carny and...
She met what?
She met a carny from the fair. We have a fair that comes to our town.
Could we get to the part that involved water?
Yes.
Really?
Did you try and drown your ex-wife?
No.
Were you charged?
I was charged with it.
With attempted drowning of your ex-wife?
Yes.
In fact, were you charged with felony false imprisonment, first degree, misdemeanor assault, third degree, misdemeanor harassment, first degree?
Yes.
And you pled down and took a conviction for misdemeanor assault, third degree, and were put on 3 years probation?
Correct.
And supervised visitation of your son?
Yes, for a little bit.
Okay, does that cause you any concern whatsoever?
So I contacted the ex, asking what actually happened, and she said none of it's true. She just wanted him away. Not at all. 3
of your ex-girlfriends talked about you. They were all 5 to 7 years younger than you. They all said you cheated on them. And they all said that you were abusive, hit, beat, pushed, whatever. So are they lying too?
I've never honestly cheated on them. You know, I found someone better, broke up with them, but I never hit them whatsoever.
Those lying girls.
Every one of them.
Every one of them. I've never cheated. I cheated on my ex-wife.
But listen, the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. And what we have here is a history where he has pled guilty to being aggressive, whether we call it drowning or harassing or assaulting, or whatever words you want to put to it. He was charged with that and pled guilty.
Okay.
Then 3 girlfriends have all said that he's a cheater and a beater.
Okay.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that came before you in relationships with him that I'm seeing a real pattern here, a real cluster of reports.
Okay, hold on.
No, wait a minute. I'm talking to her. No.
Hold on.
Does that mean anything to you?
It means nothing. Like, if I go to my ex, they're gonna probably say, oh yeah, she cheated on me.
Audience, if that history would be of relevance to you, stand up. Just a quick poll. Okay, you can all have a seat. All right, we're going to take a break. Cheyenne's former best friend says Josh did something so creepy during a sleepover that she still can't stop thinking about it. What did he do when she was sleeping over with a friend? You're going to find out after the break.
Before Cheyenne met Josh, she did competitive cheerleading, track and field, was a high honor student. Now she's rude and disrespectful. Cheyenne has called me psycho bitch, pushed her sister, hit her brother, kicked a cat across the room. I am at my wit's end.
People are telling me that I'm a troubled kid now, but all I did was I grew up.
So has she really grown up? Because what I was just asking her if she pays attention to history and she completely poo-poos it. But has Josh really changed Jean's cheerleading straight A honor school student into someone she sadly admits she is thinking about disowning? Well, you know, we're talking about patterns here. And we talked to a friend of yours. And how do you pronounce it?
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, also just spelled differently. Reports that Josh is controlling and obsessive. Is that true?
No.
Okay. She says she was spending the night at your house.
Yeah.
That Josh made you keep Skype on so he could watch you sleep during the night.
Okay. First off, we aren't allowed to go anywhere together. So I would be on Skype with him, yes. I would have it on. But just He didn't make me. I can always shut the lid. He's not at my house. How is he making me? He's not holding my hand saying, oh no, don't do it. Like, I could have just shut the lid. I chose not to.
The other Cheyenne is joining us now on the phone. Cheyenne, are you there?
Yes, hi.
So tell me about this Skype business. You're spending the night. You get up in the middle of the night.
Well, yeah, I was there, and she informed me that she sleeps. I don't know if they still do it, but she slept with Skype on because it made her feel better and him feel better that he could see her throughout the night. And knowing that that was up, it just freaked me out. It was just weird.
Did you see it during the night?
Well, yeah, it was up all night, and it was kind of freaky knowing that there was somebody able to see into the room while we were sleeping. I mean, I know that they were dating at that time, but it was still just a little weird for me.
On the creep meter, does it just go like that when he's watching you sleep at night? I mean, because my creep meter's just going like...
Watch.
I don't watch. We fall asleep. We're sitting there talking, and we'll pass out, not even knowing we're still even on it, just fall asleep, not even pay attention.
She's 17.
And then it ends by
She's
itself.
going to school. You shouldn't be watching her
And I'm not, it's not
while
exactly
she's
that we are.
sleeping. She should be going to bed.
I do go to bed. And do I wake up?
I know, right? You are going to bed.
Are y'all sexually active? Were you sexually active when you started dating at 16?
No.
How about now?
No.
No.
I definitely don't believe that one.
Why not?
Because while we were out here,
We slept in the same room
they were
together.
in the same room
Holy
together.
crap.
Yeah, holy crap.
Yeah.
Hey, but still.
Yeah. You and I found something to agree on. Yeah. That's, do you plan to, what are you saying to him? I'm sorry, I just didn't hear what you were saying.
Nothing.
But I'm sure it was something derisive. I'm just curious.
Well,
what it was.
okay, there's 2 beds. I mean, does he have a gold gadget wiener that can just go, like, seriously?
That's what she says.
It's kind of like he
Yes.
was at my house the one night.
Yes.
Her boyfriend sits there and says, oh, he sleeps with her.
Does he have a go-go gadget wiener that can go from one bed to another? Yes.
With him still on the other one?
Hey.
Yeah, I believe the boy could find his way over to the other twin bed.
With him still sleeping on the other one. Me on this one, him over there. Can his body still be over there, but his over here? Seriously, there's no possible way.
Sorry.
We get accused.
We're not going to go that far.
We get accused of it all the time.
Did you tell Cheyenne that you were sexually active with him?
No.
Did you tell her you were going to do that for Christmas?
No.
Cheyenne, what did she tell you?
We're obviously
actually-
not friends anymore, so why would she
Yeah,
say
we're
that?
not
yeah,
friends
I
anymore.
know
We're not
we're
friends
not-
anymore.
Okay, could you let me talk, please?
Oh,
she
I didn't
did
say
tell me
anything.
that for Christmas she was thinking about giving him that as a Christmas present.
No, I didn't. Okay.
And I'm not trying to be mean or anything to you, Shy. I love you, and
Okay.
I just want you to realize that Josh he's not the best guy for you, and you could do so much better. You're gorgeous, and you have so much going for you. And I don't that you're mad at me. I said bad things. You said mean things. But the way you're treating your mom, I just couldn't stand by and let you treat her like that. She's your mom, and she's done nothing but love you.
This Cheyenne disagrees with that Cheyenne because she says that her mom has left her bruised and crying for help more times than she can remember. Is that true?
Yes.
Why is Jean so concerned about her daughter's well-being now if, in fact, she is the one that has been abusive with her in her earlier life? We'll talk about that after the break.
My mom has never been a mother to me. When I was a child, she would push me and throw me around. I hate my mom, so we fight all the time. My mother calls me a bitch, skank, a whore, a slut. I had to call the cops on my mom recently because my mother was trying to take the cell phone away.
When I went to grab her shirt, her necklace broke. I left a scratch. I was charged with criminal mischief and child endangerment.
Well, Cheyenne says being treated horribly by her mom is nothing new. In fact, she claims her mother's constant beatings when she was younger left her dying to be anywhere other than home.
When I think about my childhood, I feel scared. When I was a child, my mother would beat me. If I didn't listen, I would get hit. She would push me and throw me around. I was terrified. Even if I was crying a lot, she would not stop. I was on the top bunk, and my mom pulled me off the top bunk onto the floor. She screamed in my face until I cried. My mom enjoyed having me live in fear. I would go to school crying because of the abuse. She hit me with an extension cord. The next day when I went to school, the vice principal called CPS. My mom has never been a mother to me.
What do you say about all that?
There have been times where we have gotten into fights. It is true with the extension cord, but it wasn't on purpose. She has called CPS on us a few times, and every time they have been unfounded. When I took her cell phone, she called the cops on me because I took her cell phone.
Well, what kind of grade do you give yourself for a parent? What kind of parenting have you done here?
I've seen none.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad. I've gone to parenting classes. I've gone to counseling.
And where's your father in all of this?
Her father is not around.
He's back in town, and I'm
He
not allowed
is
to
back
see
in
him.
town. You have been seeing him.
I saw him once. One time.
And there
every
was a
time he
reason.
came to the house, he couldn't come. And you would tell me that he cared about his other kid than me.
That's
what
because
mother
he
tells
did.
that?
He has 2 other kids.
And he cares about them more than her. And you pointed that out to her because you said it's true.
It is true.
And for that reason, you pointed that out.
Right, because if he wanted a visitation with her, he would go back to court.
Stop talking. Please, for a minute. You know, I write a column in O Magazine every month for the last 12 years, and the one I just wrote was to make sure that when you make changes in your life, that you're moving towards something you want rather than just away from something you don't want. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we can do something, we can leave, we can make changes, not because it's what we wish we had, but because anything's got to be better than where we are. And I can understand how that might seem like a part of the thinking that you have at some level. I mean, I'm just wondering when you're going to encounter an adult in your life that doesn't behave like a child. And you're talking about, in the house, there are names being called. Yeah. And then you say, I've gotten upset and I've hit her and I've thrown things at her. And you're supposed to be the adult here. She said, well, she doesn't have a relationship with her father. And I pointed out to her, he likes his other kids more than he does you. He loves them more than he does you. And I said it because it's true. Well, okay, I heard that. But
she's wanted to see him. And
do you hear what I am saying here?
Yes, I do say what you're saying.
Because my view is you couldn't be chasing her more into his arms than if you had a stick running behind her down the street, herding her like cattle.
I have been told that too.
Did you allow her to sleep over at boys' houses that she was dating when she was growing up?
There was one.
And for them to spend the night at your house?
Yes, he did.
So how many parenting classes did you take?
I think none.
No.
How many did you take?
Surprise.
It was one, and it was for 6 months.
In those classes, did they say it was a good idea to let boys sleep over and her sleep over at boys' houses?
No.
Did they say it was okay to call names and and degrading
No.
labels? Did they
No,
say it was
and-
okay to hit and beat and yell and scream and throw things?
Nope,
I
and
assume
that's-
those were on the don't list.
Right, they were.
Well, in 3
working
months,
with us.
Cheyenne turns 18, legally allowing her and Josh to get married. Is that what's going to happen? We'll talk about that when we come back. In 3 months, you turn 18. Do you two intend to be married?
Not that soon.
Not that soon, no.
You're engaged,
Yeah. I still have college.
and you want to do that before you get married?
Yeah.
I want to talk to just you for a minute, okay? I mean, forget these two are even here.
Okay.
I want to talk to you for a minute. You know, there comes a time in life where sometimes you have to give yourself what you wish you were getting from others.
Yes.
I mean, you wish you had a father in your life
Yes.
that would say, hey, I'm proud of you, I got your back, I'm going to help you with college, I'm going to cheer for you when you do well in life, and
Yeah.
it's for you. And you said that he's more of a father figure to you than anybody else in your life.
I have said, yeah.
And a parent-child relationship overlaid to a romantic relationship is really a bad dynamic that doesn't work out. But just listen to it. Just listen. There comes a point in your life, and I think you're at it, where you need to become very selfish.
Okay.
You need to become very self-focused. And you need to decide and recognize that choices that you're making now may have consequences for years and years to come. If you go down one path right now, you can get a college degree and become an independent professional that stands on your own 2 feet and doesn't require family or a man or anyone to help you make it in this world. There's another path you can go down where you wind up pregnant, having a child, having another child that the law will not allow him to be alone with for whatever reasons, doesn't matter. But you come to a fork in the road, and you've got to decide that you care where you are 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and choices you're making now determine which road you're going to wind up on in the future. And I can tell you that while he may be blowing in your ear and telling you he loves you, he isn't behaving like it. Because if he really cared about you, he would be making different choices right now to help and support you. And you say, oh, we had these classes we went to and blah, 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 blah. You need to stop treating this child with disrespect. I know you love her and want the best for her. You need to start putting her interest ahead of your own and recognizing that she has a chance to, in Texas, we say, rise above your raisin. And you're soon going to be 18 and soon going to be going off to college, and thank God that you are, because I think if you go off to college and selfishly focus on who you are and use your honor student background and the drive that has kept you focused academically despite all of this chaos, you really have a chance. And I'm going to talk about what that chance should look like right after the break. The chance that this is going to work is probably less than 5%. I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah, probably.
And maybe it will, maybe it won't, but the chances are less than 5% just statistically. And that really doesn't have all that much to do with the age gap. It just has to do with the fact that He's got a series of failed relationships in the past. He's got a marriage that has failed. You do have an age gap. You've got some goals that you're going to want to focus on. But that's okay. You don't need him to be okay. He doesn't need you to be okay. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is. And that's why I'm telling you, I want you to decide, I'm going to do what gives me the best chance to have the life that I deserve. And I want you to feel like you deserve it. The age gap is an extra problem. It is. We did a Twitter poll. On my Twitter page, I posed the question, if you think it's okay for a 28-year-old to date a 17-year-old girl, and the answers are 13% said yes, 87% said no. So most people seriously think this is an insurmountable obstacle for a variety of reasons. And I want you to be selfish for you. You hear what I'm saying? You deserve that. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a very special thanks to all of you on Twitter. Please keep it up, because you never know when I might read one of your tweets during the show. Thanks for being here. I hope everybody hears what I'm saying. So long. Be selfish in your own behalf. Let her go to college. Hi, Josh. Thank you.
Mom fakes multiple personality disorder.
My disorder is real.
Is it mental illness?
I told you it was going to be a dog and pony show.
I assume I'm talking to Emmeline?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
An excuse for bad behavior?
You've been blackout drunk while babysitting. If I was interviewing a nanny, you would not be on the top of the list.
Or something else?
Let me tell you guys what I think is going on here. All right, I want you to take a listen to this voicemail from a mother to her daughter.
Just so you know, I'm not as stupid as you think I am, because I've been networking, and guess what? People on your reference list aren't going to be on your reference list for very long. So take that, you little...
Well, Laura says her mother, Judy, left this voicemail in a drunken rage. Now, even though Judy admits the call technically came from her phone and sounds like her, she just insists it isn't me. Well, then who is it? Judy says it's Emmeline, one of her two other personalities. Judy's husband of 33 years, Brian, supports his wife's belief, but their daughters, Laura and Heather, say they're not so sure, and they suspect their mother is faking a multiple personality diagnosis to escape responsibility for a lifetime of outrageous behaviors that includes living on the streets for 6 months, flying across the country without telling anyone in the family. Take a look.
Having multiple personality disorder is a constant chatter in my head. Sometimes it gets so loud, it's a roar in my head. I have two dominant personalities. Carrie, she's a quiet one that just doesn't want any yelling, doesn't want screaming, just wants the chaos to stop.
Carrie's just kind of a wild teenage personality. She's fun-loving.
Emmeline is another part of my mind that does not like my husband. She doesn't like the way my children treat me, and she lashes out at that.
You never knew what was going to happen next. It goes from nice and sweet to anger.
Emmeline's behavior is such that I just want to get away from it. I feel like I'm throwing Emmeline under the bus. Okay, I got a relationship with her too. She's part of my wife, Judy.
Emmeline's always around, always lurking. She's closer than you think. I can hear her in my head saying, he's setting you up. Emmeline has done some horrible things.
One time, when Judy spiraled out of control, she left me for another man. She was smoking crack. Her alters were in control. Judy was gone for probably about 3 or 4 months.
Sometimes I have no hope that it will ever go. It's just so frustrating. It's just so hard.
There have been times where I just felt like throwing my hands up in the air and saying, I'm done.
Well, Judy says that Emmeline and Carrie are real, and she's not making them up. But Laura and Heather feel their mother is using these alters, as they're called, to cover up the real issue, which is a major drinking problem.
I feel like my mom fakes multiple personality disorder. It's her scapegoat.
My disorder is real. It happens to me. I can't stop it.
If it's legitimately true and she has multiple personality disorder, she needs to be locked up somewhere because she's a danger to society.
I don't think my mom struggles with multiple personality disorder. I do believe she struggles with alcohol abuse.
I drink to self-medicate because I have my mental health issues. I have a lot of chatter in my head, and one of the reasons I drink is to tone that down. When I drink, things get out of control, way out of control.
What my mom does is buy a big, huge gallon of wine, and she will drink all of it in under 30 minutes. My mom drinks to the point where she just passes out.
When Judy drinks, Emmeline takes over, and Emmeline will drink and drink and drink.
There are days where I remember what happened, and then there are days that I don't remember.
I head for the hills when my mom's drinking because I don't want to deal with it. I've cut all contact with my mom. I stopped talking to my mom 4 months ago, and I was afraid of what she was going to do next.
They had enough of the drama and the chaos. This is all just so upsetting.
I just want to be able to have my daughters back in my life. I feel like somebody's taken my heart, just ripped it out.
Okay, I just want to jump right in this because I have so much that I want to cover today. You believe that you suffer from a mental illness, multiple personality disorder, which is currently referred to as dissociative identity disorder, and you feel like you have that.
Yes, sir, I do.
So on the one hand, you feel like it's not you, Judy, that necessarily is offensive to their sensibilities, but instead an alter you have, Emmeline. Is that accurate, what I just said?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And I'm not trying to be smart aleck about this at all, but you need to tell me who I'm talking to right now.
Judy.
Okay, and how will I know that? How will I know if Emmeline decides to take over this conversation?
I hope that she won't, but if she does, she's aggressive. She's more demonstrative than I am.
How did she feel about you coming here?
She's in agreement with me coming here.
She is?
Yes.
Because I thought she had said that this was not good, that this wasn't going to be a good experience for you.
That was because Laura had a conversation with me on the phone and had told me that you guys were setting me up and that it was going to be a humiliating experience for us.
You told her that this was a setup and she was going to be humiliated.
I did say that.
What did you think about her coming in, about your mother coming in?
I was excited, and I don't know, I guess I kind of just felt that the opportunity was here and that we needed to take it.
You actually wrote the letter, right?
Yes, sir.
What's your goal?
My goal is to bring unity to my family.
And it's fallen apart at this point. You two question whether she's being genuine or just using this as a dodge.
Very much so.
Correct.
Right? Why do you think she's using it as a dodge?
It's just really when she does something that has just gone completely overboard, all of a sudden she has multiple personality disorder again. So I don't buy it.
It's just handy.
It's handy. It's a convenient way to...
The devil made me do it.
Exactly.
But in this case, the devil is Emmeline.
Yeah, this is the first I'm hearing of it, by the way.
What?
Emmeline. I have no idea who that is.
You have no idea who that is?
Never heard that. Or Carrie, was that what I saw on the TV? Never heard of that person either.
Okay.
Till right now, today.
So she doesn't tell you a whole lot about it?
No, because it only exists when she wants it to.
I can't trust my mom around my kids. It scares me to think of what could happen.
I know my mom has the potential to be dangerous.
Laura says I'm dangerous? How am I dangerous?
And later, can I talk to Emmeline?
What do you want to know, Dr. Phil?
I do not want my mom around my daughter.
I can't trust my mom around my kids. It scares me to think of what could happen if I were to leave my kids with my mother. I mean, I can't put them in what I would consider potentially be harm's way.
The reason Heather won't let me see my grandchildren, to quote her, is because she's seen too many Dr. Phils to trust me with my grandchildren.
The story captivated the nation and broke hearts. Deborah Dennison suffered from severe mental illness. Her behavior was so erratic, she was forbidden to be alone with her own grandchildren.
I mean, if Heather wants to go there with me, I'll go there with her and Dr. Phil in a room off camera.
I know my mom has the potential to be dangerous.
Laura says I'm dangerous? How am I dangerous?
Once I drove right over to get my daughter, whom she was watching. She was drunk, passed out, laying in the floor, and my little daughter's just, you know, year-old teeter-tottering around the apartment. I couldn't believe it.
Since my wife is not allowed to see my grandchildren, out of respect for her, I have chosen not to see my grandchildren as well.
I have the most beautiful grandchildren in the world. They mean everything to me.
I'd rather be dead than go the rest of my life without seeing my grandkids. It's just not fair. It's not right. I'm not dangerous.
You feel like she should not have access to the grandchildren because...
You guys want me to believe something as crazy as multiple personality disorder, but then you just want me to feel comfortable with letting you stay with my kids. How do I know that you're not going to jump on an airplane with my kids or say I'd say something that, you know, triggered and you're going to do something with my kids? If you don't have... I mean, I understand, Dad, you say Judy would never do that, but how am I guaranteed that I always have Judy when she's alone with my kids?
How do you answer that?
I raised them, and I had multiple personality disorder.
That was real normal. I don't want my kids to know what it's like to go in and out of a hospital, like, to visit your mother behind a locked ward. I don't want them to have to go see Mama.
Do you know why I did that? I put myself in a hospital because I did not know whether I had the potential to hurt you or not. And I needed to find out if I did. To find out what was wrong with me.
Exactly. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want them to have that experience at all.
Okay, well, they said they had not heard details about these alters that you have.
Right.
And if you want them to understand this,
right.
I want to educate them some.
I did not purposely tell them about this when they were younger, because I didn't want them to go out into a neighborhood and say, my mom has multiple personality disorder, so then that they would get teased about it.
Okay, well, we're all adults now, and this is a really big neighborhood. So it's time to just get it out there, right?
Yes.
You agree with that?
I do.
Okay, so Emmeline, and I think this is what you've told us, is in her 40s, is a smoker, is physically violent, is threatening, uses profanity, left-handed.
Yes.
Street smart, amoral, manipulative, aggressive, and protective.
Yes.
And then there's another alter, Carrie, that you say is a teenager and is an integration of all of the past teen personalities, because there have been, I think, at one point, 20 identified personalities.
At one point there was, yes.
Okay. But with progress, a lot of this has been kind of reintegrated back into just yourself, Judy, then Emmeline and Carrie. And then Carrie is very childlike, cries easily, seeks adult attention, avoids conflict, can assume a fetal position when stressed, and sucks her thumb.
Yes.
Correct. Okay, now, as I was going through that, you became agitated and a bit emotional. Tell me what's going on?
I just feel very vulnerable right now.
Mm-hmm. You feel at risk? In what way?
Putting a lot on the line here.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that I'm taking this seriously?
Yes, sir. I do.
Do you think I know what I'm doing?
Yes, sir. I do.
You know she's an alcoholic. Do you buy her alcohol?
I have, yes.
What the hell are you thinking? And later, I'm talking to Emmeline.
What do you want to know?
Why do you need to exist?
To keep Judy from killing herself.
I know that Miss Alter, Carrie, has made the decision to drink. I have partied with Carrie. She's fun. We'd go to the bar, we'd do karaoke, I'd sing to her, we'd dance. In the back of my mind, I knew I was having fun with one of my wife's alters. It wasn't Judy. I consciously knew that, but I took advantage of it. It was great for the moment, but that always has repercussions.
Well, Judy claims that she was diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, more commonly known as multiple personality disorder or split personality. But she said she burned her diagnostic papers in her stove because she was just sick of looking at them. Now, my husband Brian says he supports his wife. His daughters, Heather and Laura, say they're mom and will not let her anywhere near their children until they know what is really wrong with her. Do you believe that you're not dangerous?
I'm not dangerous.
But
Laura, how many times since...
I'd like to hear what Dr. Phil has to say.
How many times since Laura, how many times since Georgia was a year old have you left Georgia with me? How many times since?
Dr. Phil.
How many times since?
What?
Do you want me to answer a question?
Yeah, I know how to do an interview, and
Okay.
if I get out of control, I'll come right to you.
Okay.
But I think she's asked you a legitimate question. I'd like to hear the
How
answer.
many times since?
Several.
I'm going to ask that you two have an open mind to some of the things I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because I hear you making your sarcastic marks.
I'll stop.
And you could fill this room with what you don't know about what's wrong with your mother. And until you do, I think I would kind of do a lot of listening. They feel like you're not stable. I feel like the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. I know that to be true. In psychology, we can give you every test in the world, or we can take a really good history, and if somebody's got a pattern in the past, it predicts a pattern in the future. And so I've done a lot of looking at your patterns, and you've had multiple suicide attempts, right?
Correct.
7 that I count. I mean, that's the ones we know about.
Correct.
There are probably more. You've been to rehab 3 times, but yet you're still drinking.
Yes.
You've had 10 psychiatric placements, and you've had 15 traffic violations. And traffic violations are not like felonies, I understand, but several of these were for reckless driving. And so, to me, if I was like interviewing a nanny to take care of my now grandchildren, and this was on your resume, you would not be on the top of the list. So I understand why you would be concerned about that. And you know that she has mental health problems, right?
Yes, sir.
Forget the labels for a minute. You know she has problems.
Yes, sir.
You know she has a drinking problem.
Yes, sir.
You know she self-medicates.
Yes, sir.
With alcohol, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you buy her alcohol?
I have, yes.
What the hell are you thinking?
That's part of my problem. That's part of my problem, Dr. Phil.
No.
That's part of what I need to own.
You know she's an alcoholic. You know she has blackout drunk periods, and you buy her alcohol. Do you do it to avoid conflict?
Yes, sir.
I mean, just be honest. We got to put it all out on the table.
I'm being honest with you. I have done it to avoid conflict, to shut her down for the night, to not deal with things. Yes, sir. I have done that.
Do you bully him at times?
Yes, sir.
Do you bully him as Judy, or do you bully him as is Emmeline?
That's Emmeline.
Can I talk to Emmeline?
Yes, sir. What the do you want to know, Dr. Phil?
I assume I'm talking to Emmeline. Can I talk to Emmeline?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to Emmeline. I want to know what her thinking is about this.
She doesn't like him.
Well, you're describing her. I want to talk to her. She doesn't want to.
That's not going to happen.
I'm sorry?
It's not going to happen.
That's okay. I mean, if somebody's involved, I want to talk to them. And if she doesn't have the willingness or the guts to step up and talk about it, okay. I get it. But she bullies him, right?
She's mean to Dad all the time.
Speak up if you want.
You just need to shut the okay, and leave me alone. Oh, God, here we go. All right? You just need to shut the up, leave me alone.
I'll let you deal with it.
Okay,
I told you when we came here, I was not a dog and pony show. And it wasn't going to be a dog and pony show. I told you that.
okay, now talk to me.
What do you want to know, Dr. Phil?
I assume I'm talking to Emmeline.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I want to know why you bully him into doing things that are not in the best interest of your health, mentally, physically, familially, socially, functionally, why you bully this man into doing what you want him to do.
Because he doesn't listen to Judy. He doesn't take care of her. He doesn't respect her.
Do you?
Probably not.
Judy says she'll take one drink and you finish the bottle. True or false?
True.
She's telling the truth. So you're criticizing him for not taking care of Judy, and you don't either. True?
True.
So maybe you need to clean your act up. Possible?
Possible.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Possible? Possible, yes.
I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying it's possible.
Oh, possible. Anything's possible. Everything's possible.
Do you want to get better?
We all want to get better.
Do you want to be happy?
We all want to be happy.
Define happy for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Happy for me would be that I didn't have to exist anymore.
What is your necessity? Why do you need to exist?
To keep Judy from killing herself.
Why do you think she would do that?
Because she's angry.
How about you? You angry?
Angry all the time.
Well, you have that in common.
Addict.
You an alcoholic?
Yes.
All right. We're going to take a break. I'm going to talk about what I think's going on here, what I think just happened. We're going to find out why Laura says she was forced to take her own mother to court when we come back.
I had to terminate my mother. She left me many threatening voicemails.
I'm not telling to stop supporting you.
Judy would never make threats like that. Emmeline was the one that was making the threats.
The doctor that diagnosed my mom was probably a quack doctor. She will do everything there is to convince everyone around her, family members, friends. She had some sort of illness. My mom will go from doctor to doctor to doctor until somebody agrees with her.
Well, Judy has been living with multiple personalities for most of her life, according to her. This is how she experiences her existence. Her two daughters, Laura and Heather, say they wonder if their mom is faking this diagnosis to escape responsibility for her unpredictable behavior, such as leaving their father for 6 months to live on the streets as another personality named Emmeline. Now, this past May, Laura says she was forced to take her mom to court after Judy contacted Laura's clients to try to destroy her business. Now, Judy says, okay, the calls took place, but she says it was not her, it was her alter, Emmeline. Take a look.
I own my own business. My mom worked for me as an administrative assistant.
In the evening, if I wanted to have a drink, that was my choice.
She would come into work and I would sense she was hungover.
My occasional glass of wine escalated to 2 bottles of wine a night. Clients complained to Laura that I sounded intoxicated on the phone. Laura got fed up with not being able to control me.
I had to terminate my mother.
I feel betrayed by her. I feel like she slapped me in my face.
She left me many threatening voicemails.
People on your reference list aren't going to be on your reference list for very long, you little.
I had to take my mom to court, and a judge did grant an injunction in my favor to prohibit her from continuing to attempt to destroy my business.
I don't know about the messages because I think Emmeline left the messages.
Judy would never make threats like that. Emmeline was the one that was making the threats.
I think it's absurd.
Okay, you agree that what happened was like really bad, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me who I'm talking to right now?
Judy.
Okay. Let me tell you guys what I think is going on here. First off, let's get one thing very clear. This woman is not faking. 100% guarantee this woman is not faking. She is not a malingerer. She's not someone that mimics a disorder, mimics a behavior, mimics something in order to escape accountability, get attention, escape culpability, or whatever. She's not someone that makes this up for sympathy or attention. She's not a faker. Now, also, I have to say in the same breath, I don't think she has multiple personalities. I think that's really good news.
Yeah, no, it's great news.
It's really good news. But I think we all have a range of conduct and behavior, and we have. You ever had like a really bad day?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where you just wake up and get your bitch on before. I mean. You know,
we do.
You know, we all have that to some degree, and mental health and mental illness often lives on a continuum. You know, you're kind of moody, or like really moody, or like just really out of control. We move up and down in terms of our identities, and at times things become so painful that we do what's called dissociate. We like clip off. I mean, oftentimes, for example, when I've talked to rape victims and say, what was your experience during the attack? They say, and I was gone. I dissociated. It was like an out-of-body experience. It was like I wasn't even there. And you often have people detach in that way and get away from what's going on. So, number one, I do not believe that this lady is faking or that she is malingering or she is doing this just as a way of being interesting at all. So your judgment of her, in my opinion, is so misguided, I can't even begin to tell you. But then at the same time, I said, I don't think she has multiple personality disorder. I've never, ever seen what I could verify to be a case of genuine split or multiple personalities. There are many therapists who see dozens of them. And there's a real controversy about whether it exists or whether it doesn't. My position is it just doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't really matter because, it's all about labels, and labels are all about insurance reimbursement, frankly. So they force us to assign something to somebody so we can submit it for payment. And I truly believe that in the 80s, Judy went to see a therapist who believed in multiple personality disorder.
I believe that.
In such a way that this became what is called, in my opinion, iatrogenic. And iatrogenic is an illness or disorder that is caused or suggested by a physician, examination, or treatment. Like, for example, if I operate on your knee and there's a scar there, that scar is iatrogenic to the surgery. It is caused by the treatment. It's there because of the treatment. Okay? And so if you go see somebody and the way they organize their life, their world, their professional view is to believe in multiple personality, and they see some seems to be kind of all over the chart, they go, whoa, you have multiple personalities. And based on that, you went through a whole process of events. Yes. And you organized your reality based on that symbol system that was given to you.
I just feel really nuts, like a million people screaming in my head right now.
Do you ever feel like you have thoughts being taken out of your mind?
I just can't stop it.
I asked you to spend a few hours yesterday with Dr. Charles Sophie, preeminent psychiatrist. He's known the world over. I asked you to go see him and spend a few hours with him. Take a look at this and then we'll talk.
I'm here. I'm about ready to go in and be interviewed by Dr. Sophie. A little nervous about it. I'm hoping that they get whatever information they need to help me.
Dr. Sophie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you for coming. Do you ever hear voices in your head that are not outside voices?
Yes.
Do you ever feel like you have thoughts being taken out of your mind?
I just can't stop it.
What can't you stop?
I just can't stop the thoughts. I don't even know how to describe it to people. And I just feel really nuts even saying, like I'm screaming in my head right now. I got really irritated the other day. I was looking in the mirror and I was like, I don't even know who that is.
Do you know who it is and don't like who it is?
No, I didn't know who it was.
Why didn't you like looking at it then?
Because I was trying to figure out who it was.
Besides irritated that you may not have known who it is, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel sad that I'm at this age in my life and I don't know who I am.
Do you ever say to yourself, I don't want to know who I am?
Yeah, I do.
You gotta be honest. You know who you are a lot of the time, but you don't want to know. Because it's easier to hold on to that stuff.
Yeah. I just finished the interview with Dr. Sophie. It was emotional for me, and I went places that I still haven't shared with people, and I don't know that I ever will. I'm reflective about a couple of things that he said to me that, I need to go and meditate on.
Okay, I've added Dr. Sophie to our conversation. Jump in any time. You say, well, now wait a minute. Come on. You say she's not faking, she's not malingering. She just switched personalities right in front of you, Dr. Phil. Isn't that a little melodramatic here? Not really, because you're going to see a professional that's a legitimate licensed professional that has this view. And that's the way he structures it. Now, here's what we do know. We do know you had a lot of trauma in your life early on.
Yes, sir.
You had trauma when you were 7.
Yes, sir.
Because you were terribly and brutally molested.
Yes, sir.
We know from age 8 to 13 that you were victimized in that way. And let me tell you, this changes who you are. Changes who you are.
Yes, sir.
It changes how you interact and adapt to the world. I think that as a result, you've experienced a tremendous amount of fear in your life. I think you've experienced a tremendous amount of anxiety in your life. And anxiety can get to the point that you dissociate. You check out. And if you've ever driven up on a big wreck on the highway and there are survivors out there in the rain with burning cars around, you see them kind of walking around in shock, kind of zombie-like. They're dissociated. They're in shock. They have a completely different way of going through it. We accommodate to that in different ways. You were told to accommodate that by giving those states a name. And so you did, because you were told by trusted professionals to do that. And you've actually made some progress.
Yes, sir.
Using that symbol system. But I think it's important to understand that there's a lot of fear going on here. There's a lot of anxiety going on. There's depression going on. There's alcohol abuse going on. A lot of things that explain a lot of erratic behavior other than it's a completely different personality. And does that mean she's safe to take care of the kids today? Probably not, because of the lack of stability. But I think if you start putting those things on a to-do list and we get her the right kind of help focused on the right kind of underlying problems, then you do begin to see her get a good deal better in a very short period of time. Yeah. So I'm actually very optimistic about all of this. And listen, I have to tell you, I've not evaluated you. Dr. Sophie has. I arranged for that to happen. I've studied your case. I've got a lot of experience in these things, and I'm just offering you an alternative explanation, an alternative theory of what's going on, and therefore an alternative way to try to get this under control. I think you do suffer from severe and debilitating mental illness, but it's treatable. Now, what does this mean for the family, and what do they need to do? I'm going to talk about that and what's really going on here right after the break. These are things that if you break them down, the individual elements, instead of the umbrella diagnosis, to the anxiety, to the depression, to the alcohol abuse, to the borderline personality attributes and aspects, these are all things that can get a good deal better, correct?
A whole lot better, almost totally better. They're well controlled once they're treated. You just have to get treatment and stick to the treatment. Yeah. And let your family believe in you, but you got to believe in yourself. You will not own yourself. You're terrified.
We're going to help you do that, but what do you guys think about what we're talking about here, what I'm saying?
I think you're hitting the nail right on the head, just to be honest.
What do you think?
I agree.
If your mother was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and as a result began to behave erratically, would you judge her the way you're judging her now?
No.
And what you two need to do is close ranks around this woman, support her in her treatment, and understand she's not doing this on purpose. This is not her way of entertaining herself. She is not a psychopath. She's not a sociopath. She's not a manipulator. She is not someone that is doing this on purpose.
Okay.
And as a result, you guys need to understand the mental illness processes that are ongoing here and love, support, and nurture her through that. That doesn't mean that she gets away with anything. Let's be in this together.
Yeah.
Let's close ranks. And you need to stop enabling this woman. You need to man up and give her what she needs, okay? How has this gone for you today?
Good.
Do you have some hope?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want you to. Because I believe this can get better, and I believe you want to get better. I do believe that. Okay? Fair enough? We can
Fair
work
enough,
on this?
yeah.
Be positive?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Medical Director for the LA County of Children and Family Services, and also a member of our advisory board, Dr. Charles Sophie. We will see you next time. Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.